One more thing. The presidential race, it's tight. But down ballot races that will determine where and how you live and work and go to school, a bunch of those are squeakers. So we want to lift up some hardworking Democrats standing up for the communities in races across the country. This time, we're looking at Pennsylvania's State House District 33 race, where incumbent Democratic Representative Mandy Steele is fighting to keep her seat blue. Pennsylvania has a divided legislature. Democrats have control of the governor's mansion and the House. But Republicans have kept the Senate. Dems won their one-seat majority in the House when Steele was elected during the 2022 midterms. That majority has given her and her party the power to counter the GOP's majority in the Senate. Now Steele will face off with Republican challenger Gary Lotz on Election Day. We called her up to talk about the work she and her fellow Democrats hope to continue in Pennsylvania if she's reelected in November. Mandy, thanks for coming on What A Day.
Oh, thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
So Democrats have a one-seat majority in your chamber. It's 102 to 101. During your term in office, what have you and your colleagues on the left done to advocate for your constituents, and what work do you want to keep doing if you're reelected?
You know, I represent one of the seats that when we won, we were able to flip the House blue. And it's the first time the Democrats had control of the House in a very, very long time. The Republicans have control over the Senate. And now the Democrats have control over the House. And that's been hugely important because the Republicans were trying to get abortion on the ballot in Pennsylvania. And so when I won my seat, we were able to stop that from happening. And so that has been validating that we've been able to protect women in this state through my win. But it also makes me a big target because if they can take this seat back, then they can move forward with that extreme agenda. The people that I represent, I find to be very reasonable and rational people who are tired of extreme conduct by politicians and who really want their electeds to navigate a central path. And so that's the work that I do. I look for opportunities to find common ground and then focus my attention there.
Tell us about your Republican challenger, Gary Lotz, because when we went through his website, it was interesting because he was trying to portray himself as not a typical Republican. His platform focuses a lot on the economy and lowering taxes for businesses. And he says, quote, "I am not running for office to put myself between a woman and her doctor." What do you think are some of the policies that you think voters should be more aware of?
Well, you know, those statements by Republicans that we're hearing now, we're hearing a lot of pivoting from that candidates from the other side of the aisle. And what happens is when you're in a state with a divided legislature, and Pennsylvania is the only one, something that our Governor Shapiro points out often, both parties in some cases need to function as a unit. And so even if Gary Lotz is not leading the charge on banning a woman's right to health care, he would be another vote for that were it to come up. And so that's very dangerous. So him saying, "Hey, I'm not going to do this."
Right.
It's not how it all shakes out.
As you've mentioned, and you've heard it over and over and over again, Pennsylvania is the swing state to win this presidential election. So how are you and your campaign organizing to get people to the polls in a state where so many tight races are happening on the national and local levels?
I'll say that there's more excitement this time than I've ever seen before. I've been a member of my Democratic committee for a long time. I've been knocking doors for many, many years. I've been involved even when I wasn't a candidate for the state house. People are going to turn out this time. So I expect huge numbers. And a lot of people are telling me, and I'm hearing this at Republican doors, people are saying, "I'm sick of the divisiveness. I want to see our country move forward. I am not going to vote for Trump." People who have voted for Trump twice are not going to cast that vote the third time. So I'm expecting a good outcome in southwestern Pennsylvania. And I think we're going to do well here.
Have you voted yet?
No, I'm an in-person voter. I love to go see the community, say hi to everybody. So I'll be there on Election Day.
Yeah, same. There's something about the line, the process. It feels real.
Yeah. Agree. And I have 4 little kids. They're 7, 9, 11, and 13. And I really like to take them to help me vote. It's important to teach them about that.
Agreed. Mandy, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks so much for having me. Great to talk with you.